I'm almost certain that all of you have been driving down the road and been stuck behind someone going at least 10 miles per hour under the speed limit. And I can almost guarantee that every time that this happens, you say the phrase, "Ugh, I'm stuck behind a grandma." Well, first of all, that's rude, but it's most likely true. I think that we should implement driving tests to all the elderly, just like we give to teenagers when they are first getting their license. Some may argue that forcing the elderly to take this test is an act of ageism, but allowing the elderly to retake their test isn't directly taking away their right to drive. I think we should implement this because as you get older, your health declines, you're more prone to accidents, and allowing the elderly to test gives them their independence. Let's crash right into the first point about how the elderly's health makes it hard for them to drive. Everyone knows that as you get older, you lose your hearing and your vision. Yes, you can get glasses to help with your vision, and yes, you can get hearing aids to help with your hearing, but those aren't the only two ways that the elderly's health decline. They also lose their cognitive and physical skills. These include things such as time perception, depth perception, and much more. The Department of Transportation says that you can make a claim to retest, that everyone can make a claim to retest by just writing and signing a paper. But more importantly, it says that the doctors can give tests to prove that these elderly need to retake the test. Assuming that everyone ages and will have their health decline, then why is it harmful to just test every elderly when they become a certain age? Let's steer right into our next topic about how the elderly are more prone to accidents. John Chapman says that on March 23rd of this year, in our very hometown of Council Bluffs, a building was run into by an elderly lady who had mistaken the gas for the brake. Thankfully, no one was harmed, but this isn't the only incident where this type of thing has happened. CNN says that in 2012, an elderly man in California lost control of his car and ended up sending 11 children to the hospital. Although age might not have been the only reason for these crashes, it should be known that these aren't the only two instances where this type of thing has happened and the elderly fail to react to normal driving behaviors. Rand researched the statistics and found that ages 65 or older are 16% more likelier than ages 25 to 64 to cause an accident. They also said that there was a higher percentage of fatal crash rates per mile for ages 70 and up. Everyone who has driven with an elderly person knows that they are really scary drivers, and you've probably experienced a near-death experience. So you should all agree with me that having the elderly test for their driver's license should be implemented. Now we'll take a U-turn and head into my last topic about how allowing the elderly to test isn't directly taking away their independence. Dr. Cope says that the elderly, when they are taken away their driving completely out of nowhere, they're more likely to be isolated and be sent to a long-term facility sooner. Once you take away the elderly's driver's license, they also lose all their contact to the outside world and are twice as likely to become depressed. Dr. Marco Four brings up the point that in other countries such as Italy, they have their elderly test at the age of 80 every year in order to confirm their license. If other countries can recognize that the elderly need to test for re-driving, then why can't we? After hearing my speech, you should now be able to drive down the road with no problem and be able to go wherever you're going whenever you want without having to slow down for somebody going 10 under the speed limit. The elderly should retest for driving because their health declines as they get older, they're more prone to accidents, and allowing them to retest keeps their independence. I hope that I have convinced you that having the elderly retest for their driving is a great idea to implement into society. Please drive safe out there and remember to respect your elders. Thank you.